What is up, guys? It's me, Wakewis, and we are back again with another video. And one thing you might notice as the video has begun is I'm wearing a new pair of headsets today. I actually have a pair of Astro A10s lying around because my trusty old Logitech G Pros broke. So I think it's because I have a big head, because this is the second time this exact pair of headphones have broken on the exact same side, the exact same way. Like I just try and put them on and then it just goes. So I might just have a big head and Logitech G Pros aren't for me. Shouts to Astro because I have a pair of Astro A10s lying around, always supporting the FGC. They didn't pay me for that, by the way, but maybe they should. So these will be my go-to pair of headphones for the foreseeable future, but I might have a little something cooking up for that. So there's a few things I want to touch on in this video. Hopefully it will make sense. So first off, before we begin, first thing I want to say is small bits of housekeeping. First of all, we are just around 200 subscribers away from 26,000, which is kind of crazy. That's actually a big number when I say that out loud. And I want to start like a random tradition where like every 1,000 subscribers or every milestone or whatever, like I just want to appreciate like someone who's been supporting for a while or started. So like I'm just gonna start like picking random commenters or random comments or something, just highlight those people in my comment section who managed to like brighten my day every so often with your comments. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with that, but like if you leave comments often positive on my videos or funny or whatever, you may be highlighted very soon. So thank you for that. Next up, I want to give a quick shout out to members Obs, Tekken, and Jane So. Hope I said that right. If you two would like to get shout outs in videos or maybe even play some lobbies with me, or even get some pro gameplay analysis from myself, click that join button, find out more, become part of the members. I'm trying to do more with that and I would love you guys' support. So if you want any of those perks or you just want to go the extra mile of support, either way, I really appreciate that. But the bare minimum I ask for you is just leave a like on the video. It helps me a lot. Leave a comment, just do that. If you can't do the other thing, that's the bare minimum. Love ya. So now let's get into the main meat and potatoes of the video. And to start, I guess the title may explain the video if I've titled it correctly, but if I haven't, I want to talk about Tekken World Tour. Yes, I'm happy Tekken World Tour is back. It being gone the past 2 years was like, it honestly sucked, but obviously we know why there wasn't a Tekken World Tour, so can't really complain about it. I'm a big fan of most of the things they've done. Emphasis on most, because I think there are some things that do need to be addressed about Tekken World Tour, but for the most part, I think they've done a great job. The extra regions, I think, is important. Having regional finals is cool, kind of. I'll get into that later. Bringing back dojos and Tojo Primes is cool. There's another problem there as well, but I'll get into that later. But all in all, it does seem like they're putting in a big effort to make this a world tour again. Now, considering it's a condensed world tour, like it's not the full year like it normally is. It started back in what, May, June, whenever Combo Breaker was, and it's going up towards it ends at the start of next year. It is not as long as of a tour, meaning there are only 4 Masters events, and one of them has already gone by. That was CEO. And then the only remaining Masters events are the Master Prime, which is Evo, then Versus Fighting, Rev Major, and the Mix-Up. Now, I do think it's obviously they're doing the best with what they have. You know, it's a shorter year. Some tournaments have already gone by and couldn't be a part of the tour, and some tournaments may not just be happening. So it has been favored a certain way, meaning, you know, some regions have more chances to qualify per se. You know, you have the Mix-Up and Versus Fighting. 2 Masters events are taking place in Europe, England, and France, respectively. 2 Master events in America, CEO and Evo, the only Master Prime, and then 1 in Asia that is Rev Major. I think something they've done to sort of compensate for this is they've only made it so only 1 of your Master events count towards your points, to sort of stop people like hoarding points and traveling and like winning all the events because, you know, they don't get the points for it. And before we begin, I just want to talk about where I'm coming from, my perspective in this video, because I have a lot of hats in the ring when it comes to Tekken. I'm a commentator, competitor, and a content creator. So I think I'll let you guys know I'm addressing this from the stance as a competitor, because I will be competing in Tekken World Tour this year. I'm going to Evo. I can't go to Versus Fighting, and I'm trying to do Rev Major. So this is coming mainly from the perspective of a competitor, but also a commentator who cares about the scene and keeps his ear to the ground a lot. Now, yes, there is only 1 Master event that counts towards your total points tally, but I don't think if you win a Master event, you're you're locked out of another one. So for example, Anakin, who won CEO, he's also going to Evo, but he realistically may not get any points from going to Evo because only one Master event counts. I do believe Master and Master Prime fall under the same bracket, meaning unless Anakin finishes first at Evo, he will not get any points for the event. Obviously, Anakin being a CEO winner, he got 400 points for that. And for Master Primes, you get 400 points for second place and 550 for first place. So honestly, there's no reason for Anakin really to go to Evo if he were only just focusing on Tekken World Tour. All he may really end up doing is gatekeeping other players from getting a good placing at Evo, getting points, and helping their chances of qualifying for their regional finals. But at the end of the day, you're not going to miss a tournament like Evo. You have the choice. And with Tekken World Tour back, I'd want to compete in as many events as I can. So I'm not telling Anakin not to compete. I'm just saying this is a likely situation considering the format this year. The same can also be said for Joker. Joker finished third at CEO. For him to get any points in other master events moving forward, he has to finish second or first. And that's very unlikely considering Joker's shit at this game. But those aren't the only concerns when it comes to Tekken World Tour this year. In fact, I think that's a rather minor concern because then you have to come into the dojo system and take a look at that this year. Now, all dojos are region locked, including dojo prime events, which have basically taken the place of challenger events. And this is something I am not a huge fan of, like, at all. Now, I can understand dojo events being region locked because realistically, you don't want like big players from other regions coming to like your local tournaments to take points away. So I understand that. But dojo primes are where I have a bit of an issue. Dojo primes are basically challenger events from 2019. And those tournaments, a lot of them were bolstered by the fact it had international competition. Berlin Tekken Clash in 2019 had Lohai coming out, John Ding came out, and that helped make the tournament a lot better in terms of Europe versus Korea, Europe versus Asia. We had Kaden Trench versus John Ding versus Lohai, and those games were amazing. And I think having Dojo Primes region locked sort of discourages that kind of travel for these events. Because yes, you can still enter, you can still compete, but you won't be getting any points for it, and you just end up gatekeeping other people. For example, only the best this year is finally going to be a Tekken World Tour event. It's going to be Dojo Prime, and this was a tournament that was inviting big international travels. You know, Anakin was planning to come down. I believe Arslan and other players were coming to come down. I don't know if Cuddlecore as well, I think, or the whole Red Bull squad maybe planned to come down. And I think they still are, but it's just a little bittersweet. That means, you know, there are no points that can be gained from it. And then obviously with players of their caliber, they're likely to perform very well at this event. Maybe even take top 2, top 1, the whole top 3, top 4, whatever. And that literally means there are just points that have just been left on the table at this event, which I'm not a huge fan of. Sorry if it looks like I'm getting distracted, by the way, as I'm making this video. I'm currently watching Valorant, the VCT Masters right now. So I'm kind of splitting my focus. I apologize for that. Which reminds me, I might do some Valorant content at some point. I do stream the game from time to time, so let me know if you guys want to see some content. But anyway, now moving into another issue that's been raised recently. This was something I initially had a problem with, and then Arslan Ashton put it into words in a tweet recently. And he basically said, should I read it in his voice? No, I'm not going to do that because the toxic Arslan stands are going to come after me. I didn't know that was a thing, by the way. Very recently, I've learned about toxic Arslan stands. I've learned about this. I'm actually going to do a video on this. I learned this very recently. They're kind of crazy. But anyway, Tekken World Tour rules are unbelievable and I just don't get it. Let's say someone wins Evo and 2 other master events and has the highest points in the world. Why do they need to compete in the regional finals then? What's the point if they're already at the top of the leaderboards globally and have a straight shot to the world finals? If they lose the regional finals, what then? Are they out? Were they playing in the LCQ while still being the best in their region when it comes to points? I don't understand. And also, we don't even know if the regional finals are going to be offline or online. How does that work? If online players aren't able to play offline and vice versa, then what happens? Seems like the rules are really messy and it needs to be changed. So quickly, if you're unaware how this Tekken World Tour works, I should have explained this earlier. You get put onto a regional points leaderboard. All the points that you gain go onto a regional leaderboard. I don't think there's a global leaderboard this year. There might be a global leaderboard just to showcase who has the most points, but it's pretty much irrelevant. The regional leaderboard is all that matters. So for example, right now at the top of the West Europe, as when I'm coming in, leaderboard is going to be Joker, Super Kuma, and Tetsu. Joker with his 3rd place at CEO. Tetsu won a big dojo, and Super Kuma finished 5th at CEO. So they're coming away with a lot of points, and they're at the top of our regional leaderboard right now. Then, depending on the region, 16, 8, or 4 players will end up going into the regional finals. So I'll explain it from the West Europe perspective, because that's the one I know. So for West Europe, 16 players will qualify towards a regional finals at the end of the year. There's going to be a round robin pool. Then I think a top 8 is made from there. Then it's just a simple double elimination bracket from there. Basically the same as Tekken World Tour Finals, or if you watch Tekken Online Challenge, basically the same as that, just with more people. Then obviously some regions will have 8 qualifying and some will only have 4. Obviously it depends on the size of the region. I think West Europe is one of the biggest. Same with, I believe North America also is a 16 as well. And then for West Europe, there are 2 regional finals. And then the winners of those regional finals will be going to the Tekken World Tour Finals. So for West Europe, 2 tournaments. The winners of both of them will be going to the Tekken World Tour Finals. Now, Arson's point is a very simple one. It's one that I honestly agree with. If you spend most of the year performing the best in your region, doing the best in your region, and you're head and shoulders above the rest in your region, should it then come down to one tournament, for some regions 2, like West Europe, I think North America as well, and Japan, for some regions 2 tournaments or 1 tournament to decide whether or not you make it to the finals. I know Pakistan only has 1 tournament and only 1 representative of the Tekken World Tour. So if you spend the entire year doing the best consistently, is it then fair that then you go out and don't make the finals because you had a bad day, you had an off day, or maybe, you know, you run into that one guy in your region who always beats you in the tour, you know? And this is something that I do honestly really do understand, because there is also an LCQ as well for the final spots in Tekken World Tour. And there are currently 3 regions that do not have regional finals, so they don't have to go through this. Literally just the highest placing player goes through. And that is the Middle East, Philippines, and East Asia and Oceania. So those 2 regions do not have regional finals, and the highest placing player on the regional leaderboards will go through, which is how Tekken World Tour basically goes anyway. Just the highest placing players go through, but we have regional finals this year. And I guess just to round out, I guess the Tekken World Tour rules, this is how regional finals actually. So there are 13 regions that have regional finals and 3 regions that have 2 regional finals events: North America, West Europe, and Japan. So those regions will have 2 representatives at the end of the Tekken World Tour. I do think it's crazy that Korea only gets 1 spot. Like, I think it might be a thing where they've done it relative to, like, you know, size of the region and population, etc. But just based off legacy, I do think it's insane that Korea will only get 1 spot at the Tekken World Tour this final. Maximum 2 spots if a Korean wins the LCQ, but 1 spot is insane. That means we're only going to get 1 of Ni, Chanel, JDCR, Ulsan, Moil. Like, we're only getting 1 of them perhaps at the Tekken World Tour Finals. And then the rest of the regions are Central America, South America, East Europe, North Africa, West Africa, South Africa, Pakistan, South Asia, Southeast Asia, we'll see Korea. Hopefully I haven't just thrown too much information at you guys. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I'll try and answer them. But yeah, for the most part, those are like the main issues I do have in Tekken World Tour. Dojo Primes shouldn't be region locked. I think you take away a lot of like the novelty of what makes Tekken World Tour by doing that. The regional finals is a little bit worrying. Obviously as a competitor as well, it's a big worry. You know, you go through the entire season, you can perform very well and then just have 1 event and that's it. Like, obviously I do have experience in that regional finals sort of format, because the Tekken Online Challenge finals were done in the region, basically the same format as the regional finals. So that's something I do obviously have experience in and I'm prepared to do and whatever. But it's just, it's going to be tough this year for a lot of players, myself included. There are a few things I'd love to see them maybe change about Tekken World Tour this year, maybe implement, but you know, maybe it's too late to do that. But yeah, those are the main points I really did want to touch in this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. I'll try and get to them. I don't know if I was completely coherent during this video. Remember, we are closing in on 26,000 subscribers, so you drop us a sub, I would really appreciate that. Also, if you do want to go a bit above and beyond with the support, you can join the members. Obviously great perks and bonuses for that. That's going to be all from me. Please like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.